A new director picks up years later where the revered original creator left off. An iconic but now aged hero plays a prominent role, comforting old fans and tugging on their nostalgic heartstrings for much of the story while passing the torch to a new generation of heroes. The story follows many of the same recognizable beats of the tale that started it all, and by the end you've been on a great ride that is both familiar and new at the same time.
All right, time to introduce the new cog to the old cog, and clear these bucketheads out of my house.
Let's do this! Come on, down here!
I'm talking about Gears of War 4, but if that sounds familiar, it's because there are a number of similarities between Microsoft's first internally developed Gears of War game and J.J. Abrams' Star Wars Episode 7. Gears of War 4 is set 25 years after the events of the original trilogy, with Marcus Phoenix playing the Han Solo mentor role, while his son JD and JD's longtime friends Kate and Del sub in for Rey and Finn. Parallels to Gears 1 aside, Gears 4 brings new elements to the series' cover-based shooting formula that fit right in with the canon. In the campaign, the new DB robot enemies and Saren swarm foes attack differently than their Locust predecessors, thus requiring welcome new offensive and defensive strategies to combat them. Their common denominator is that they put a lot more pressure on you than ever before, making Gears 4 especially inviting for challenge seekers playing on higher difficulty levels.
Get it off me!
On a similar note, Gears of War 4's new weapons integrate nicely into the established universe alongside the familiar Lancer and friends, both in campaign and multiplayer. The Buzzkill gloriously insta-gives foes when its saw blades hit their targets. The Overkill packs a wicked, if short-range, double-barrel shotgun-esque punch that's especially gratifying when other human players feel its wrath.
This unit does not tolerate resistance.
Design-wise, the new Gears campaign, also playable in two-player split-screen or online, succeeds thanks to a focus on variety. Aside from one drawn-out objective in Act 4, you're never in one place doing the same thing for too long during the 8-hour trek. It packs several gameplay styles, including a few thematically appropriate instances of Horde Mode along with a couple other enjoyable changes of pace. Visually, this Gears doesn't pack the same jaw-dropping punch the original did, but that's no insult. Its most graphically impressive moments are tied to the weather, with wind flares producing swirling dust, swaying trees, and dancing foliage. Smartly, the heavy winds actually affect weapons with slow-moving ammo such as the Buzzkill, whose shots will arc such that they become almost useless at their normally reliable medium range, forcing you to choose your gear extra carefully in the inclement weather. Of course, Gears of War has always been backed up by great multiplayer. That hasn't changed with Gears of War 4. Both Versus and Horde, like campaign, have evolved rather than been reinvented, with predictably fun results. Gears 4 brings plenty of great game modes, most of which are tried and true Gears staples. The standout new one is Arms Race, which is basically Call of Duty's gun game, pitting each team in a race to get 3 kills each with every weapon in a certain order. It works just as well here. Escalation, aka Domination or Territories in other games, on the other hand, simply drags on far too long as a best of 13 round duel. The 5-player Horde mode, however, is once again where Gears multiplayer shines brightest. The tower defense elements introduced in Gears 3 have been iterated on for the better here, giving Horde a unique appeal compared to campaign and Versus. Killed enemies now drop resource chits that must be collected and brought back to the also new Fabricator, your mobile emplacement builder basically, and deposited into a team-shared cache pool used to erect fences, sentries, turrets, and more as you fight through 50 waves of DB and swarm foes. This enhances team play by encouraging coordination of how to best spend your shared resources. Every 10th wave is extra challenging as it brings out a random boss to contend with, such as the Snatcher or the Kestrel helicopter. That increased sense of teamwork is aided by a new class system that emphasizes teamwork by encouraging specialized roles that grant specific action bonuses. My group's best run ended at wave 20 after 90 minutes, and we jump right back in for more. So expect many hours of replayable fun with your friends. Because of that heavy reliance on multiplayer, I'm waiting until Gears of War 4 is launched to the public so I can play with all of you to test and make sure it works as well after launch as it did before. But if I had to score it now, I'd give it a 9.2, which we define as amazing. For our final verdict and much more on all things Gears of War, stick with IGN.